Just embrace the queerness. Learn to love the gay. Even if you are not gay yourself, even if you never get with a dude, and that's okay. No one is perfect, yeah? The Quartering, our dear sweet Jeremy Hambaby, seems to be a bit upset that Venom might come out in Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So let's see what might have been revealed and what our favourite bearded whingy man has to say about it.
I've been suppressing my urge to have sex with other men my entire life. I get a little tingle every time I think about skewering another man with my giant venom.
Now this here is Jeremy Hambaby coming in and putting some very cringy dialogue lip-synced onto some existing footage.
But I've grown tired of hiding from...
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
Today's the day that I've finally come out of the closet.
What the hell are you?
We are horny.
Look, people are horny for Venom. That was fucking cringe. Okay, I do like the rainbow Venom face. That's a nice fucking touch.
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if this like fake woke baiting is a new way for movies to get press. I've talked about it at length.
Yeah, queerbaiting. It's a thing that has existed for fucking ages, and queer folks talk about it a lot. It's a problem. Like, leading people on with this, are they gay? They might be gay. Oh, you want to watch it because these characters could be gay. Yes, it's queerbaiting. Absolutely.
Before that, I am a big fan of Venom. Venom, Spider-Man, Carnage. All these I grew up with in the fighting games too. Just really, really love the characters. And now in the sequel, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the director has decided to queerbait, essentially, saying that Venom's coming out and love affair between Eddie and the alien symbiote in Let There Be Carnage. The film director is now pointing to a scene that is sort of an LGBTQIA kind of festival as a moment.
So the first in the new Venom films, you can definitely read like a bunch of queer subtext into it. Like, it wasn't explicitly queer, but yeah, queer folks tend to latch on to what they can, even if it wasn't intended to be gay.
Venom has his being out moment. This is very dangerous queer baiting, I would argue, because if it is what I think it is, and it's treated as kind of a joke, or if they treat it like a joke, it's not going to go over well. Yeah,
look, it is possible that they could, tease that this is going to be a thing and then handle it really poorly and experience a bunch of backlash.
I just don't know why these movies can't stand on their own, be good on their own merit.
I mean, this doesn't stop them from being good on its own merit. The fact that it explores themes.
But here we are.
Oh, Andy Serkis is directing. Huh.
Andy Serkis says a particular scene in Venom Let There Be Carnage is a coming out party for the alien symbiote, whose relationship with Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is at the center of the movie. In a recent interview with Uproxx, the Venom sequel director spoke about the film's rave scene, which he shared had originally been set in the carnival but evolved thanks to stars Hardy's relationship with rapper Little Sims, who also appears in the movie. She actually had made a song, unbeknownst to her, called Venom that connected very much with the first movie. And so Tom got in touch with her and said the song kind of became the focus. When the director shared that Hardy and co-writer Kelly Marcel had wanted the scene to be a coming out event, well, Tom and Kelly were always about Venom
So the actor and the co-writer are both leading into this. Like, if that's the case, this doesn't sound just like queerbaiting. It sounds like the creatives involved in the project wanting to explore implicit themes in the character concept and making them a bit more explicit.
Coming out and going to a party that was very sort of an LGBTQIA festival. Really, I'd call it. And his coming out party, basically. This is Venom's coming out party. This is another perfect example of, Hollywood just being just the worst.
Like, in the trailer for the new Venom film, we've seen Venom making fucking dinner or making breakfast for them. They've got this a very coupley dynamic to them in what we've seen.
Look, two men can have a deep affection for each other.
And two men can also have romantic feelings for each other. This is okay. And it's okay to explore in film.
Love each other. Be friends. Be family.
And if this film explores themes of queerness and monsterfucking, the previous film kind of did explore, not directly, but kind of did include nods and allegorical moments around monsterfucking and things that could be interpreted as queerness. But if this film does explore these things, then it doesn't erase all of the many other films that don't explore those things, that have, loving platonic male relationships in them. And, maybe we don't know yet. Maybe Eddie Brock doesn't reciprocate these feelings. Maybe these feelings aren't quite the same as love or lust because Venom is an alien symbiote, and maybe it doesn't work that way.
Also, sleeping together. This is a thing that Hollywood is completely unable to do. Also, with two female characters. When two female characters are strong, they must be sleeping together. And if they're not, then the internet literally gets mad about it.
No. There are plenty of pairs of strong female characters in fiction who aren't sleeping together. And it's not that the internet gets mad about it, it's that the internet constantly ships fictional characters with each other. If you put fictional characters in anything, someone's gonna go and write porn about them, someone's gonna make fucking fan art where they're having sex. Have you never been on Rule 34? This is just the internet, mate.
I'm not kidding. This shipping culture,
and people ship straight characters as well, or ship characters of opposite genders,
is why you get a lot of this. Now, what's it actually going to look like in the movie? I don't know. But the fact that we're seeing this now is just like, can't we have something with just be a good movie without having to have all this? Oh, but Venom.
A movie containing themes and ideas doesn't mean that it is not a good movie. A movie containing themes and ideas doesn't mean that it's a good movie. Whether or not it's a good movie exists irrespective of these concepts.
That's cool, but he's also gay. When asked to confirm if what he was implying was that Venom was not a straight...
the quartering was, promising to do better, to do less kind of ragey, kind of hate-fueled stuff. I mean, he's not shouting right now. I guess that's a step forward, maybe?
Alien symbiote, as was actually coming out, he responds, well...
Cyber Opal, that is a great example. So back to Aliens, there was Vasquez and Ripley, who were both coded more masculine than some of the male characters, and there was never a thing between them. They were just strong women. Yeah, it doesn't have to happen all the time.
Coming out, being out, before acknowledging that a line from the character points him to...
And Homonym's Xena Warrior Princess was queerbaiting as fuck. Like, there was so much gay subtext in that. So much. They went as far up to the line as they possibly could.
Speaking for the other. What is interesting is that just like he says in the movie, we must stop this cruel treatment of aliens, he says. We all live on this ball of rock, and so inadvertently becomes kind of he's speaking for the other. He's speaking for the freedom of the other. Then,
oh my god. You mean to tell me that this is a work of fiction that is using its intrinsic elements to draw parallels with modern society and to try and, say something about something? Wow, Jeremy, this has never happened before in the history of fiction. This is an entirely new phenomenon that only occurs now that the SJWs are running Hollywood. I really hope you can pick out the dripping fucking sarcasm in my voice, Jeremy.
End of the interview, which features him speaking on the other Venom-related things, like star and friend Woody Harrelson's involvement in the character Carnage's impact on the film's coloring. Serkis responds to the statement by saying, "It's very obvious that Eddie and Venom are in love," by calling their relationship the movie's central love affair. Absolutely.
I mean, even the first movie was largely kind of about the relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom.
They do love each other, and that's kind of at the center of the movie. It's a love affair, the central love affair.
So this is the love affair between Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote. Apparently, it's going to be a bit more explicit in this next film than it was in the last one. So Xena Warrior Princess is trashy, but a lot of fun. And look, it is absolutely worth it to see Lucy Lawless swanning around in not very much and kicking ass.
What? Literally what? I mean, hopefully there's a scene where they pleasure each other.
I mean, doesn't that happen already? Venom is skin tight, and when Venom isn't on Eddie Brock's outside, he's going somewhere. He must be on Eddie Brock's inside.
I mean, I would hope. We all love the will they, won't they dynamic between Eddie Brock and Venom. And it seems Venom, Let There Be Carnage, director does too. In a new interview with Uproxx, he talked about taking over directional duties of the film and how he used the film to ship the two characters. Absolutely, they do love each other, and this is kind of the center of the movie. It is that love affair.
I'm fucking here for this. Yeah, turning this into a queer romance thing, which, like we were looking at before, Venom might be coded masculine. Venom is technically agender because the Venom symbiote, it often sounds male, but it adapts the gender traits and characteristics of whoever it's bonded to. So maybe Venom is gender fluid, which would make any romantic or sexual relationship that it had with its wearer queer, if its gender changed to match whatever its wearer was.
That central love affair. To the director, the love between the two is so powerful, he wanted to include a coming out scene of sorts that made parallels between Venom and queer love stories even more clear.
And there were already parallels there.
Tom Hardy and co-writer Kelly Marcel were always talking about him coming out. He continued to say he sees an obvious parallel between Venom's story and the stories of the LGBTQ plus people. He says in the movie, we must stop the cruel treatment, blah, blah, blah.
You've already gone over this bit, mate.
Fans love Eddie and Venom's odd couple dynamic in the first film.
They did have an odd couple dynamic. Absolutely they did. And yet Venom is xenogender. Totally.
Yeah, but they don't want them to be boyfriends. I suppose some may. The two have great chemistry, and at one point, the symbiote even has the idea to kiss Eddie when it's being worn by Eddie's ex-wife, played by Michelle Williams. The first Venom film was surprisingly different superhero tale that we're used to. The back and forth between Eddie and Venom was a major reason. With the lack of queerness in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it would be great to see this dynamic in Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, we have had a serious lack of explicitly queer characters in the MCU so far. Um, there may have been some nods to some stuff, but we haven't had any mainline things.
What? Look, I'm not against this out of hand.
I mean, you kind of have been behaving like you are.
But is that a thing that existed in Carnage's or in Venom's deep lore history?
Does it have to? Can new works that are setting up new continuities not go in new and interesting directions? So I think the closest we've had to queer characterizing, charactering, and storylining in the MCU so far has probably been the Loki stuff, with the Loki TV series kind of vaguely towing around the idea of Loki's gender fluidity, but it's not really the Loki we're used to being gender fluid, more exploring the idea that if things had gone another way, Loki could have wound up as a different gender, and also introducing the idea that they played with gender a bit when they were young.
I actually don't know that for a fact. But I also know what I do know about Venom is that it was never about his love affairs. If it was, maybe when I was young, I just completely missed it. It's possible, right? It's possible that I completely missed that's what it's about. But they get all this free press from the Mary Sue and Coming Out magazine and all this stuff.
Now look, that's bound to be a boon for the film, but that doesn't mean that it's the only reason they're doing it. From what's been said in that interview that he just went over, Tom Hardy and the writer both had this idea as something that they wanted to explore. They knew that it was something that a lot of fans had latched onto. And the first film, like I said, kind of hinted at some stuff, but never really went into it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the second film plays with that and whether it does a good job.
You can see here's the Mary Sue's coverage. Well, most of us know that Andy is the man who portrayed Gollum in Lord of the Rings films. The veteran actor is also an accomplished director. His latest and most high-profile film is a sequel to Venom titled Venom Let There Be Carnage. The film will find Eddie Brock struggling to get along with his symbiote companion, as well as facing off against a new foe, Cletus Cassidy, a.k.a. Carnage. I mean...
Now all that Let There Be Carnage needs is a musical scene. A musical number between Venom and Eddie Brock. Maybe even a musical fight scene where they're singing their emotions to each other while Carnage is cutting in with counter melodies. Then it will truly be an iconic queer film.
I'm not exactly sure. We could see. I'm not sure.
I see that you know your
I'm not sure about this one.
Eddie, let it go, I can't hide it in anymore. Carnage will not separate us. Let's just leave this one to Spider-Man. No, I've lost the tune there.
One. Is it a love story saying they love each other? Well, yeah. I do think that Hollywood directors and things like that of this nature are likely to bait, deliberately be obtuse or deliberately be and then they could come back and say, well, I never said they were boyfriend and boyfriend. I just said that it was a love story. And
there's a coming out moment, so there's obviously an expressing of emotions, and look, that stuff can be playing off allegory. It doesn't have to be them being in a literal relationship for it to explore queer themes.
And that's what it is. I mean, that could be exactly what they're talking about. That Venom and Eddie Brock are just deep friends, man friends or whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I don't know how this works out. I don't know at what point.
Just embrace the queerness, Ham baby. Just learn to love the gay. You will be much happier. Even if you are not gay yourself, even if you never get with a dude, and that's okay. Like, no one is perfect, yeah? If you're not attracted to men, I understand that you have this particular shortcoming, but it's not something that you should beat yourself up about. But you should learn to, find sense of joy in getting to see gay relationships flourish.
We're going to get back to just, hey, it's a sweet movie, and let's not talk about, maybe it's not important who loves who. There are movies that are, that do hinge on relationships, and those are love stories. But then again, if Carnage, if that's what they want Venom to be, is a love story, it's probably not for me. Maybe it'll be for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
I loved seeing how uncomfortable and uncertain that made Jeremy Harambly. And look, I'm really keen for them leading more heavily into the homosexual subtext that was in the first film, because it was definitely there, and making the subtext text is really great. That thing that Jeremy Harambly, the Quartering, put at the beginning of his video was really fucking cringy and awkward. Like, taking the scene where Venom is stopping a person from robbing the convenience store that they're connected to, and redubbing that to make it about male-on-male rape in a video about the second Venom movie exploring queer themes in the relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom, that's really fucking homophobic. That is really fucking problematic. I don't think it properly sunk in until now just how fucking bad that move was. Jesus Christ, Jeremy, that's what you think of when you think gay characters and gay Venom. That is woeful. That is fucking woeful.